Hello, I'm Bob Lancer, and the purpose of this show is to lead you into the life you truly want to be living. It is also about helping you to better understand and relate with others, especially the children in your life, in support of their great potential. So this show is for anyone who wants to live with more peace and purpose and positive power to soar into the fulfillment of our greatest promise. Are you a depressionaholic? Are you addicted to feeling down about yourself or your life? To the extent that you actually do feel down about your life, your relationships, your possibilities, yourself, to that extent, you are a depressionaholic. You are addicted to feeling down. If you pay attention to how you feel, you actually discover a choice. You can choose to feel down and become negative about your life and its possibilities, even about your past. Or you can choose to let go, surrender control, and just relax, and just allow yourself to be present in the moment and give up your struggle against reality. If you've been a depressionaholic for a long time, that is, if you have been choosing to feel down about your life, it's become habitual. That low morale that you have been spending so much time in has grown roots into your psyche, into your subconscious, so that it will take you a while of choosing to be free, to free yourself. When you feel discouraged, when you feel down about the possibilities or defeated, what's actually going on is that you are making a choice to feel that way. Now, it may be easy to point to your circumstances to justify why you feel as you do, but the more you do that, the more you anchor yourself into those low, draining feelings. When you catch yourself slipping into your old depressionaholic pattern, pay very close attention to what's going on within you so that you can see what's actually at work. If you're feeling down about your life, there's something that you've been working for, and you've tried everything you could for perhaps a long time, and still find that you're no closer. Perhaps you've been working on achieving a certain level in your career, and you've tried everything you could for years, and still find yourself where you don't want to be, far from where you do want to be. Perhaps you've been striving to achieve, to get into, to have a certain relationship with someone, perhaps you wanted to be married by this time in your life. And you've tried one relationship after another, and still you find yourself alone. Perhaps you've been striving to achieve a certain level of economic independence or success. For years you've been pursuing this objective, and you still find yourself far from where you want to be. When that happens, there is a temptation to abort the creative process, to focus on the reasons why it won't work. That tempts you to begin to believe, to accept, to resign yourself to the notion that you're not going to make it, that you can't make it, that you might as well give up. Now, when you feel that you might as well give up because you've tried everything, that is the time to keep going, because you really never know if your success is waiting just around the corner. You can either feed your depressionaholism by succumbing to the belief that you can't accomplish this thing because you haven't accomplished it yet, and you've tried so hard for so long to accomplish it. Or you can choose to let go of the urge to give in to your depressionaholism. You can resist the temptation to abort the creative process and instead simply consider, what can I do right now for what I want? You'll find that you don't get depressed as long as you go for what you want. Once you start entertaining the possibility that it's never going to happen, you doom yourself to despair. Decide what it is you want to go for it. Depression is connected with the struggle to live a false life, the struggle to live up to false standards. There is nothing preventing you right now from going for what you want to accomplish in your life. Nothing. If you don't really want to accomplish something, you don't have to go for it. But if it's something that you do want to accomplish, you are free right now to look for a way to make it happen. When you think about a life that inspires you, a vision will occur to you. You will receive an idea, a sense of what it is that you would like to accomplish. From that vision, take action in line with bringing that vision about. And as long as you stay engaged in that creative process of making it happen, you are freeing yourself from depression, from discouragement, from defeatism. In order to live life to the fullest, create a goal for yourself, an objective for yourself that seems like it will take a miracle for it to happen. That's where you get great inspiration from. That's where your life takes on great meaning. When you're pursuing an objective that is great, that is glorious, is magnificent, and the obtaining of it would seemingly unite heaven and earth because this objective is so spectacular. And then from that spectacular objective that gets you all inspired, focus on simple tasks that you really can execute in line with what you want until finally they give birth to this magnificent result. Take small, simple steps, trusting in the outcome. Faith that it can be is the foundation that frees you to act. If your efforts thus far appear to be fruitless, it doesn't mean they really are. Things still can be building and mounting for an ultimate breakthrough. And you may turn away and give up just when you were about to make it. There is a special power that you inject into the creative process when you abandon the idea that you can't make it. Don't dwell on the evidence that would convince you that you can't do it. Simply let go of that evidence. Let it go mentally. Don't focus on it. In this present moment is your time to choose the direction for your life. Do you habitually portray yourself as a victim of any condition? Now, this may go on subtly, so subtly that you don't even realize it until you pay closer attention to the feelings you experience. Without even realizing it, you may be thinking of yourself as burdened in some way, held back, held down, deprived. You may be feeling like a victim when you look at your bank balance or at the stack of dishes in the sink, or when you think about how much more you have to get done, or when you think that what you're doing is just not coming out good enough. When you portray yourself as a victim in your own mind, you lead others to see you as someone in a sorry situation, as a sorry person. It may be that when you were a child, that manipulated other people to come to your rescue. And it may work for you to some degree, even now, as an adult. But the success of that manipulation tactic is always short-lived. Sooner or later, individuals begin to relate to you as a bottomless pit, as a kind of a black hole that sucks the life energy out of them, as they try to fix you, help you, lift you up, only to find that you are too determined to remain a victim. Sometimes we can use victim thinking and feeling to manipulate others through guilt. They feel responsible for the fact that we feel so deprived, unhappy, lost. The real loser in it is the person who portrays themselves to themselves as a victim. Because portraying yourself as a victim places you in the very circumstances that you feel oppressed, deprived, or drained by. You are a victim of what you believe yourself to be a victim of. So in a sense, it's only that you're a victim of your beliefs. And the only way out is to recognize that it's just a habit. It's just a habitual way of thinking and feeling about yourself in your circumstances. There is absolutely nothing about your circumstances that makes you into a victim. The only thing that makes you into a victim is thinking of yourself as one. And the only thing that will keep you there is remaining unconscious of what you're thinking. Pay attention to how you feel and think in the present moment. And you'll begin to discover how often, how continuously you carry on a sense of yourself being burdened or deprived in some area, in some way. And all you have to do to get free from the circumstances you think are oppressing you is to be aware enough of what you're thinking and feeling to begin to let go of thoughts and feelings that place you in a state of victimhood. And you can do that, but you can only do it by small degrees over a long period of time. Because the habit of thinking of yourself as a victim starts in childhood. It's so important for us to wake up, to pay attention to what we're really about, because so much of what we're doing is on an unconscious level. And that requires facing ourselves and looking within. Before you can free yourself from the circumstances that you feel like a victim within, you need to free yourself from the victim role that you place yourself in your mind. What does that role do to you? It causes you to walk with slumped shoulders, to sigh, to say, woe is me. You might think you're trapped in an unfulfilling marriage, or stuck in a dissatisfying job, or in a bad financial situation, burdened by debt. But you see, as long as you feel like a victim and think like a victim, you're going to continue to manifest the circumstances that keep you a victim. You will never depart from any situation that you feel yourself to be a victim of. Let go of any situation you want to let go of you, and you let go of it within, in your thoughts and feelings. That's where it begins. That's where your freedom, that's where your liberation begins. Many people seem to believe that the only way to change how they're feeling and thinking is to change their circumstances first. For example, I'd stop feeling like a victim of debt if I could get out of debt, or a victim of no job if I could get a job. I'd stop feeling like a victim of poverty if I can win the lottery. It doesn't work like that. And even if you do win the lottery, your habitual victim thinking will find a way to blow it. If you do find a job, your habitual victim thinking will get you fired because of your attitude. If you wish that you could live in a magnificent natural environment and feel like a victim when you look out your window and see nothing but a small patch of grass surrounded by unimpressive buildings, you lock yourself into that situation. It's not about ignoring your circumstances. It's letting go of the thought and feeling, of the mindset of being a victim of those circumstances. You're not a victim of anyone. No one is overpowering you. Just let those thoughts go, and you'll start to find that your life goes more in line with where you want, that the doors of opportunity begin to open up. It's like a miracle. Essentially, you're going to have to make a choice. You have to choose between the temptation to feel like a victim of your circumstances and the circumstances you want to live in. Victim thinking and feeling is very tempting because it's so familiar. We get locked into it, and then it sucks us dry. We become addicted to wallowing in it. And again, this pattern begins in childhood when we found our power to manipulate our parents by expressing how sorry for ourselves that we felt. Now we even hope to manipulate God with those feelings. But your habitual feelings of feeling sorry for yourself means that no matter what God does for you, you're still going to feel sorry for yourself. And for all you know, God is already doing everything you have asked for. But you're just stuck in feeling sorry for yourself and looking for the excuses and the reasons to continue to feel that way. It's easier to roll down a mountain than to climb up it. And it's easier to fall into victim thinking, if that's been your habit, than to let go of it. because there's an attachment to it. We've been counting on it, and now we're still doing it even though it's obsolete. Listen to how you sound when you're complaining. You'll see that you're expressing feelings of being taken advantage of, being deprived, being oppressed, being unjustly treated. And that is an attitude. It's a mindset that causes you to continue to create the very circumstances you are complaining about. There is no circumstances in your life right now that you are being oppressed by. Our job is to find ways of looking at life that work for us, that liberate us and don't keep us down. Don't keep us locked in a box until it becomes our coffin. You're not oppressed by circumstances. Seeing yourself as oppressed by a situation is a perspective. It's a way of interpreting your situation. It's a way of thinking and feeling. If you're feeling burdened, deprived in any way, work on letting go of that feeling. Don't work on trying to change your circumstances so you don't have to feel that way. Let go of the feeling, and your circumstances will show you an open door, proving that you never had to feel that way. The opportunity was there. You're on your way. You're never oppressed by another person. No matter how difficult another person is, no matter how much power that person thinks they have in your life, no matter what another person is saying or thinking or doing, you're going to reap what you sow, not what someone else sows. Now, if you imagine yourself being inferior compared to someone else, if you see another person as having superior power, superior leverage, superior point of advantage, then you are putting yourself in the victim role, and that's all you're going to manifest. Conditions that seem to take advantage of you, that keep you from where you want to go. Stop imagining yourself being oppressed by anything. Stop imagining yourself being deprived in any way. I'm not asking you to leave reality. I'm asking you to face reality. Stop imagining and just be aware in the present moment. When you're thinking about your bank account or your child or your spouse or your job, you're looking at your thoughts. You're looking at your own imagining. You're looking at a mental configuration. You're looking at a representation, a movie. And when you stop looking at the movie and just pay attention in the present moment to how you're feeling, you'll find that you can release yourself from the feelings that make the bad movies seem so real. You're not oppressed by your own past mistakes. You're not victimized by those. Sometimes we feel that I have to suffer. I don't deserve what I want because of how I mistreated someone. Are you ready to let go of that idea? Are you ready to start freeing yourself from the idea of yourself being victimized by your own past actions? Maybe you didn't pursue all the education you wish you had, or maybe you frittered time away in play, or maybe you treated someone really poorly. Are you ready to let go of the idea that what you did deprives you or makes you undeserving of what you desire? You may have to let it go 1,000 times because you see, thoughts don't just come and then you say, well, I don't want to think about that, and it never comes again. There's this habitual connection we have to the thinking and feeling states we routinely indulge in. You're going to have to be very vigilant. To awaken to real power, you have to be inwardly oriented. Pay attention to what you're thinking and to what you're feeling. And gradually, your awareness will go deeper so that while you used to unconsciously think like a victim, now you realize, oh my goodness, I was just doing some filing. And the whole time I was filing, I was feeling burdened by what I had to do. And sometimes you have to just stop what you're doing, take a breath, and let go of this psychic weight that you're carrying. Only one thing in this world can make you a victim, and that is thinking of yourself as a victim and feeling like a victim. If you're in circumstances right now that you feel victimized by, be grateful. They are God's gift to you so that you can see how in those circumstances you have this tendency to imagine yourself victimized or overpowered. Is there someone in your life, maybe even in your past when you were a child, who made you feel overpowered, inadequate, inferior? those were states of mind that you were slipping into in that relationship. There was nothing real about that. There was nothing real about that person's superior power. There was nothing actually wrong with you. There was nothing inadequate about you. But you were slipping into that mindset, and it was because you learned that mindset from someone you were raised by. Victim thinking is a learned skill. Children are not born with it. And it may very well be that you didn't recognize it in one of your parents, but now as you think about it, maybe it was my mom who was somehow habitually falling into a victim thought-feeling pattern, and I adopted it. And for a while it worked. Maybe she used it to manipulate my dad, and I learned that I can use it to manipulate them both. But again, your success in victimhood is always short-lived, because the people around you will let you go for your own good, allow you to fall on your face and force you to pick up yourself. You're not a victim of time. Do you imagine yourself not having enough time to get done what you need to get done? Or do you imagine that if you finally do achieve the thing that you desire, you won't have enough time to enjoy it? Do you imagine that you wasted too much time in the past? You're not a victim of time. It's an illusion. It's a destructive, depressing, demoralizing, self-defeating illusion. Every situation that triggers off your sense of being burdened or oppressed is a gift, because it gives you the opportunity to find out that you have that pattern and to let it go, so that no circumstance can trigger it off. Our challenges come into our life because it is time for us to grow greater than the challenge. Adjust your feelings and shift your thinking out of the victim mode. You may not even notice that you're experiencing victim feelings while you work at your job or complain at your child. But the more you look at how you feel in the moment, the more you pay attention to the thoughts going on in your head, the deeper your perception goes and the deeper your liberation goes. The liberation of your power to succeed, to be victorious. You don't have to envision yourself as one who must suffer the fate of deserving to be punished, held back, kept from all you desire. Practicing this form of release equates with the acceptance of forgiveness, which gives your energy freedom to work entirely for your heart's desire. You don't have to imagine yourself a victim of a mean parent, a self-centered friend, a dishonest colleague, an unreliable client, an unrealistic mate, an unappreciative child, a lack of this, too much of that. It's all in the head. As you practice paying attention, you'll see if you are living in victory or in victimhood in the present moment. And all you have to do is to let go of one to discover yourself living in the other. And that's all the time we have for today's broadcast of Bob Lancer's Answers. To order a recording of today's show or of previous shows, and to learn more about my work, go to boblancer.com. That's www.boblancer.com.